I've noticed that recently, Harsh. I don't know about you, but people that are getting older are not looking old. They're looking pretty young.
Do you notice that few people are getting older nowadays? In the
Hmm.
sense that when I go to my hometown, I mean my village, if you die at 89, they say that you died young. They say that you died before your time. So unless you die at 91 or above, they act like, it's a tragedy. You died. You didn't live as long as you were supposed to.
Hmm.
And here in the city, it's a fairly normal thing for people to die in their 60s. So 65-year-old dying is like normal here. People don't care about the 65-year-old dying. They're like, he was supposed to die. It was his time. And people in their 70s are considered like at the end of their life right now. But in my hometown and all these, smallest villages, living until 95, getting close to 100 is so normal that if you die at 89, they look at you weird. Like, this guy died at 89. Like,
They look at the dead
whoa.
body weird.
Yeah,
Why do
so
you think that is, though? Why do you think in villages they're outlasting the city folks?
they have more active lives. They don't eat as much and they are thinner and they walk more. So people in villages, they don't lift weights, they don't have gyms, and they eat a natural diet. So they are thin, they are
Hmm.
lean. They aren't like bodybuilders, right? They aren't bigger than the natural human body was supposed to be. They're lean, they're thin, and they walk a lot. And that keeps their body young and that keeps their body disease free. It keeps their heart healthy, their arteries fine. Look at how people die when they die in their 60s and 70s. Almost no one in the city dies naturally. They don't die from falling sick. Most people die from a heart attack. A heart
Hmm.
attack death is like, let's say you have a machine, okay? Let's say that you have a computer. A heart attack is like a short circuit. It's like something went wrong in the circuit and now the entire thing has stopped working. Versus a death from old age is like the entire machine deteriorating over time and everything breaks down at once later.
Hmm.
So with a heart attack, all your organs, everything was fine, and then you just die. Boom. And that's because people are eating all these, shitty ass oils from industrial companies, canola oil and things like that.
Yep.
And they don't walk enough, they don't work out enough, so they get fat and that kills them over time. It's like a slow motion suicide. People in small villages are not rich enough to commit slow motion suicide.
And how much do you think stress plays a factor, or do you think that's not that much of a factor?
Stress plays a factor in the sense that it fucks your hormones up.
Hmm.
So, like, if you're too stressed, you will find that if you eat more, instead of gaining muscle, you start gaining a lot of fat. It ups your cortisol and estrogen somehow, and it makes it much harder to gain muscle and it ups your fat gain by a lot. And it makes
Right.
you want to eat more in the sense that if you're going through a particularly stressful period, you will realize that you're constantly hungry and you always want to eat some sugary thing because the human body, when we evolved over millions of years, constant stress was never a factor. You got stressed when you got hungry, and that was a sign for you that, okay, maybe I should go and hunt something or and eat it. Let me eat something. I'm stressed. But they were not stressed for months at a time. Versus now, people are stressed day and night every single day. And
Hmm.
because of that, they're always eating. They're eating day and night nonstop. And that makes them fat really fast.
Well, I would say the old school folks did have stress as well because they were thinking about these saber-toothed tigers. But there's two kinds of stress. There's eustress and distress. These guys from our past had eustress, which is productive stress. You need to have some sort of uh, dissatisfaction within in order to grow, in order to fight, in order to be more alert. But our generation has distress, which is just causing you panic attacks and making you worry. The purpose of growth is to turn distress into eustress, where you're seeing, okay, I'm feeling a lot of tension, But rather than sitting on my ass and just worrying about it, how about I do something with it? And that's how people get into the gym. They learn public speaking. They do something. But you have to turn that distress into eustress. You can't just kill the energy. You need to convert it. And
Interesting.
this type of stuff is not taught nowadays. Where when I was doing public speaking, when I was doing emceeing and stuff, it taught us about different kinds of stress. They'll say, "Hey, how are you feeling?" I'm feeling nervous. Stop calling it nervous energy. Call it excitement. Boom. That's you labeled it correctly. And once you label it correctly, you're winning over the perception. And once you win over the perception, now that energy is being seen in a positive way, and you could use that energy to give a beautiful speech. You have a nice tonality behind you, but people aren't taught that. They're just taught, oh, well, the poor baby, he's feeling sad. They keep feeling sad, and they stay in that distress state, and that builds up.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if this is true. I mean, it could be, it's possible, but they've done studies where they've taken rats and they've injected these rats with hormones that make them feel very stressed. And I'm not sure if the body has different types of stress. I mean, when you're stressed, your body just releases those hormones. I mean, the hormones, when they're released, it makes you feel stressed. And
Hmm.
when you release those hormones in a rat, it makes them eat more, it makes them put on weight, it makes them break down muscle and then turn it into fat.
Right. It's a perception thing. Have you ever done a roller coaster before?
I have
And how are you feeling right before the roller coaster is about to drop? Your
the
heart is beating
adrenaline.
fast, heart is beating fast, adrenaline is kicking in, palms are getting sweaty, and such. How do you view it? I don't know about for you, but for the most part, it's viewed as anxiety. And you get the same energy. Well, excuse me, for a lot of people, that's seen as excitement. It's like, yes, I'm about to do this um, roller coaster. But when you're about to do a speech in front of 500 people, it's the same exact physical sensations, identical, rapid heartbeat, palm sweating, dry mouth. But this is viewed as anxiety. So, what's the difference between the roller coaster situation and the public speaking situation? Same physical sensations, but one is viewed as excitement, the other is viewed as anxiety. It's a game of perception at this point, where with mouses, it's difficult to do the perception aspect, but with humans, you got to use the right words.
I agree with you there, but when I say stress, I don't mean that type of stress. I mean chronic stress. Let's say that you have to
Mm,
pay your rent at the end of the month and you haven't made
yeah.
any money this month, and you go a week stressing, what am I going to do? Am I going to get evicted? Am I going to get kicked out? Will I have to live in California and shit in the streets? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I mean chronic stress. People who work a corporate job, they're often really, really stressed out.
Oh, yeah, dude. Have you ever had a moment like that?
I've had some times where I was really stressed out when I was working way too much, like 15 hours a day for months at an end. And
Hmm.
I noticed that my hair is falling out. I'm like, I gotta chill out.
Oh, you had a bald spot. Or you were actually your hair was thinning.
I don't know, but the front of your head on the
Hmm.
left and right, I don't know what it's called, but
Hmm.
some of it is receded. You can't tell unless I show it to you. It's not bad yet.
Let me see. No, I'm just joking.
But it's not too visible, but it started to happen. And then I had to make amends, you could say. I was just working way too much. I was trying to do too many companies at once,
Hmm.
and it was not good for my health.
When you are stressed, do you ever have a panic attack?
I never have panic attacks. I don't really
Mm,
know what people are talking about, the whole anxiety thing. Never had it. I don't
mhm.
really know why they're bothering about it.
Right.
I mean, everybody feels a little amount of scare when they're about to do something they've never done before, or something that's naturally scary. For example, if you're gonna cross a running river, you're gonna feel a bit scared. What if I am not able to swim through and I hit the rock
Mhm.
or something like that? You're gonna have some amount of fear.